There's no need for flattery. It'll rust my soul.
Ahoy and welcome back to another video. This time with some Octopath 2 goodness. Anyone that knows me knows that one of my favorite things in games is leveling up. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense past my lizard brain just being tickled the right way when numbers go big. I like stats, I like levels, I like big numbers. So in this video, I want to show the strategy I have been using and the results I have achieved with some EXP grinding in Octopath 2. Full disclosure, I'm not the first person to discover any of these strategies by any means, but I wanted to make a video highlighting the way I put it all together and the results I got just to show how really broken it is. Spoiler warning here, the main ingredient of this method is something that you can only do once finishing Partitio's story. You will also see some weapons and classes in the footage that you may not necessarily have come across yet. Okay, so with all that being said, blinders are up. So there are several ingredients to this method, but the main one I alluded to moments ago was using Alrond, an NPC from Partitio's story, as a follower with you into battle. Alrond is found in Wellgrove, in or outside of his mansion, and can only be brought onto your team after beating Partitio's story. He can be summoned a whopping 3 whole times before going back to where you found him, which is a pretty low use number, but it's completely worth the time. If you hire him with Partitio, which is what I did the first several times using this method, it's going to cost you 160,000 leaves, which, even late game, is a nice chunk of change. Good news though, if you have Temenos at level 80, you can pull him to your side for free as much as you want. And you may be saying, dang, level 80, that's pretty dang high of a level. And to that I say, not much longer it isn't. When summoning Alrond in battle, he'll use the ability Treasure Smell, in which he grants you one of 6 possible effects: EXP or JP times 2, EXP or JP times 10, or the very silly EXP or JP times 100. And you might think the times 100 versions of the skill would be super rare, but it really isn't. I've had multiple battles where I land both a JP and EXP times 100 in the same battle, and I would say I get the coveted EXP times 100 maybe every 3 to 4 battles where I'm using this method, and probably 8 out of 10 times I get at least EXP times 10. Combining this ability with some of the better encounters in the game, the Chubby Kates and King Octopuffs, you can get some very silly EXP and JP gains. So now that we know the main ingredient, let's break down the full strategy. There are a number of small factors that end up combining for some big returns that we're going to utilize here. My main point of advice is you're going to want someone with the Hunter class with the skill Leg Hold Trap unlocked. And if you have the Inventor class and you have the support skill A Step Ahead unlocked, throw that on this Hunter to ensure they go first every battle no matter what. The next thing you're going to want on your team is plenty of magic options. Kates and Octopuffs are both a little tricky to kill because they try to flee often as early as possible and they have very high evasion. Luckily, magic attacks cannot miss in this game. This goes for the consumable soulstone items as well, but you're really going to want something a little more repeatable that can do some good damage, and preferably some magic attacks that can focus on a single target, because we really only want to kill the high value targets and leave the other monsters alive while we set up the big EXP gains. As far as equipment, you want to have the Kate powder items to attract more Kates, which I think there are 2 of, and they do stack. The 3 Octopuff pots, which had the same effect for the Octopuffs. The Brooch of Joy, an item accessible after finishing Casty's story that boosts both EXP and JP gains. And then the EXP and JP augmenter items to add another boost to those rewards. I did not use the JP augmenter personally because you really don't need a whole lot of JP to get all the skills in the game unlocked, so it became kind of a waste of a slot for me. Next step is support skills, and you're only going to need 1 character with each of these, as having multiple of the same skills does not stack. You want Life in the Shadows from Thief, which boosts EXP at nighttime, extra experience from Scholar, which does exactly what it sounds like, more rare monsters from the Hunter class, which will even further increase the rates of Kates and Octopuffs, and then if you need extra JP, run Hard Worker from the Dancer class to boost JP gains as well. There is also equipment and skills for higher monster encounter rates, but I did not feel the need to have these equipped because random encounters are pretty quick as it is. Okay, now that we have the party set up, let's go grind. Personally, I was doing this in Southern Timberlane Trail. The only real reason I chose this location is I ran into a chubby Kate here, so I knew for a fact they could spawn here, but any later game, higher danger level area should have the same effect. Make it nighttime, start running in circles, and get into a battle. If there's not a Kate or an Octopath, run away. You don't want to waste Alron's uses on regular enemies. Once you do run into one of the rare monsters, step 1 is to leg hold trap them. They want to flee more often than not, and you don't want that happening. Leg hold trap will put them at the end of the line, ensuring you can try to hit them with your full party. An added effect of this ability that isn't super obvious is everyone will start with 2 BP instead of 1, since a turn has passed with the hunter using leg hold trap. Next step, throw whatever you can, I prefer magic for the accuracy, to kill the high value enemy. Do not kill every enemy, as that will end the battle before we can summon Alrond. Once you accomplish this, start hitting defend with any character that isn't the one who can summon Alrond. Alrond is summonable 3 times before leaving the party, and each summon gives 2 turns of him using his skill, making a total of 6 chances per battle to get the big shebang times 100 EXP. Keep defending until Alrond uses this ability, reap the reward, go back to Welvgrogan to begin again, and rinse and repeat. If you're curious, Chubby Kates give more EXP and King Octopuffs give more JP, but both give way more of both than standard enemies, so I use this strategy when running to either of them. Now, to end this off, I want to show what happens when you bring a level 1 character, in my case Ochette, into a battle with a Chubby Kate and then get the times 100 EXP buff.
Allow me.
In pursuit of knowledge, reduce them to ash. Your fate.
There goes. Bring it on.
There's no need for flattery. It'll rust my soul.
Well, here you go. As you can see, it says she went all the way from level 1 to level 61, but believe it or not, that isn't even correct. She went up to level 70. The game was just so baffled it did not even display it right. You can see right here after the battle she is indeed level 70, and if you refer to the silly little chart I made for the experience curve in Octopath, you can see that with the 272,125 EXP that we got, that's just enough to push her over into level 70. So in one fell swoop with this method, you can make a completely unused character end game ready. Using this method, I'll be able to get my Hikari to level 99 in a fraction of the time it took me to grind Alpha to level 99 Octopath 1, which is all good with me. Thanks for watching. I'm leaving a couple links in the description to some sources that helped me pull this method off, going over the Alrond stuff as well as where to get some of the equipment I used and all that stuff. This is a fun video to put together and I hope it can help you save some time like it did for me. If you like this video, feel free to throw a thumbs up or subscribe. I don't make a whole lot of tutorial videos, but I do have a couple. I mainly make videos talking about games, sometimes game news, and reviewing games when I have the time. Anyhow, thanks for watching, it means a lot. See you next time.